Okay, this is session 1 of Children of the Eight-Legged She, the second series of our We Hunt the Keepers campaign. I want to just start by having the returning characters introduce themselves. Let's start with Weary. Tell us about Weary, Fraser.
Weary is a thief who comes from the Shadow Court, which is sort of like going off of the motif of like priests and Templars and what I know about fantasy, which is very little. The opposite of that. So they're like the sort of evil, and it's sort of like a guild of thieves as well. And I'm just sort of making it up as I go. So I'm drawing on a lot of like Assassin's Creed and stuff like that, and then asking you guys a lot of questions.
We've established a couple things. I mean, we know that members of the Shadow Court are hunted themselves by this order of Templars. Everybody in this world's hunting something. It seems like an order of Templars called the Light Callers, who attempt to hunt you guys down and destroy you. And we saw one of those in action last series, a pretty memorable series of or sequence of scenes. Awesome, yeah, Weary. And why are you called Weary?
We don't know really. I can't remember what some of the excuses I gave yet, but I think all of them are going to be wrong. I think like throughout this whole series, I'll be trying to figure it out myself as well.
Sounds good. David, tell us about Logan Stormbreaker. You are muted.
Yes, I am. So Logan is a magician, a mage playbook, and we don't know a ton about his backstory, but we know that he spent some time with some kind of order of magicians who all train together, and then they get whenever they're done, they get some moniker attached to their name. So Logan got Stormbreaker because of his ability to move and manipulate storms. He has constantly billowing robes, which he has spent some time enchanting recently, and up until after the last adventure, he kind of stayed happily behind with another magician in the town of Frostale, and he knows something about another character here, Archon, who is returning from a strange circumstance, but he's kept it to himself.
Interesting. Cool. And that contact of yours in Frostdale, her name was
Isabella Vergestrider.
Isabella Vergestrider, that's right. And she kind of figured prominently in the last series. I guess you guys basically like rekindled your sort of friendship, your colleagueship, and
yeah, I think it developed into romance, and that's why I stayed for so long.
Got it. Yeah, this is some months, possibly even years after the last series. Okay, it's intentionally vague. Good, thank you. Garrett, tell us about Archon Megalon.
Archon Megalon is based on the Scion playbook. However, since I hardly ever played Dungeons and Dragons, didn't know anything about science. I was just reading the moves and interpreted them slightly differently than some people expected. So Archon is a dwarf, but not really a dwarf. He's a Broga, which is kind of related to dwarves, but degenerated. And he wants to learn about certain feelings. Especially he wanted to learn about fear, and this is how he ended up the claws of a semi-god. And he's not out there to learn fear anymore. He can. That's what he got. But now he has lost his empathy to some degree.
Interesting.
We'll see that reflected in my flex. Archon was on good terms with his companions. So with Logan, he has kind of a competition about what the right way to use magic. And with Weary, he feels a certain connection because Weary went through a training which was extremely tough. And so he has also his emotions whirled up, at least from Archon's understanding. But Archon is also good in misunderstanding people.
He's very good at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So this is what Archon is about. And so he's back. He doesn't know what happened while he was in this other astral sphere because it's locked up in his brain. Can't access that. And he feels a little bit shattered when he one day steps out of this temple and returns and sees Logan.
Indeed, indeed. So, Logan, you were there then when Archon came out of the temple where the eight-legged she was. Awesome.
Yes, I was. I sensed him coming back.
Oh, good. What was that like?
So I was staying with Isabella Vergestrider, and I heard from the hatch that's underneath her rug, I heard the sound of the silvery sea and the wind blowing on it, and I knew somebody was traveling on it.
Nice. Good. Okay, cool. I may have more questions about that later, but for now I'm good. Awesome. Well, that just leaves our new character. So, Stephen, tell us about Hemet. Is that right?
Hemet.
Mhm.
Hemet is a halfling fighter. He comes from a tradition of almost monk-like halflings. He's very quick, very strong, and his signature weapon is a pair of daggers. They're very sinister looking. He uses them they're almost oversized. He uses them, holding them, the blade goes across the forearm.
Like Tonfa's almost, right? Something like that.
Yeah. And they're, because he is so small, they're almost, oversized for him. And they have, he talks to them as if they are a thing, as if they are, another party member or, a friend. They are, he has fights with them.
Good. Yeah.
And I need to make a name for them.
This is gonna trigger Weary so hard.
Yeah, I know, because one of the Weary had a pretty nasty encounter with a character who spoke to their weapon.
No.
Yeah.
So basically, I chose an additional range for the signature weapon.
Okay, good.
What that looks like on screen is actually he's fast. It's not that the weapon is bigger; it's that he moves into close range very quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
And did I have anything else? I think that's about it.
Cool. We'll continue to develop his backstory as we go. But that gives me that sounds pretty good. Let's see. Let's talk about flags now as a group. Why don't we just I don't want to read through all the, I mean, you can read through them if you wish, but what I really want more from you guys right now is just what do you think would be interesting flag wise right now? It's a little hard to say because we don't quite know. You guys don't quite know what's going to happen in this series yet, but just, like you were saying earlier, Weary, you changed some of your flags. Like, what was your thinking behind your flags there?
Mine was just that I was noticing the more pressure I was getting to come up with my name, I wasn't coming up with something. So instead, I'm just going to shift away from that, and then just as I figure it out, I'll just hit on that in the fiction. But so I changed it to ask me about some sort of obscure history, and then I'll probably answer it incorrectly, and that will be kind of fleshing out the Shadow Court a little bit more as we go. And then I felt like the send me into danger one kind of messed up my alignment stuff a lot, because I was always like kind of planning it beforehand, and my alignment
right.
is
When
like,
you're supposed to just be going in, right?
Yeah, exactly. So this one is like just send me into the shadows, either to explore so I can do my trap stuff, or to back you up from the shadows kind of thing. And then Believe a Lie, I've told you, was just fun, so I kept that.
All right, awesome. All right, cool. Logan, how do your flags look? Are they the same from last time, or?
I just wrote a new one. but otherwise the rest are still there.
Mhm.
So now there's 4. Try to get me to hold still so you can come up with a rational plan. Trust me despite your better judgment when it comes to a magical mystery. Protect me when you see me begin to weave the winds. And this is a new one. Try to exploit my magic for your own personal gain.
Interesting. Okay. I think that one will be interesting because it's kind of a mission focused sort of series. I think it'll be interesting to see how characters are. Well, I think there'll be opportunities for it to be, like, oh, I have my own personal agenda here, in addition to the sort of like overall mission. So I think it'll be interesting to see how those things kind of line up and connect. Cool. Archon, what are your flags?
Well, I would like to talk about 2 of my flags.
Okay.
The other one is an obvious one, and there's one that as a Scion I can read somebody's mind for an hour after touching. So I want to learn about the other characters. So I'm eager to do that. But you are totally right to have some suspicion of doing that because I'm not very much into respecting privacy. So this is a flag, and I want to hit it, but it's totally okay to check that again and again. And the other one is that I want to learn about empathy. And so that was a fear before. But yeah, that topic has finished, I would say, by now. And empathy is something I'm also want to learn about how you interpret that. And eager to see who is willing to talk about feelings with me.
Indeed. As that's one thing that Garrett always brings to the table. Like, let's get our characters talking about their feelings. I'm into it. Cool.
I was thinking, let me explore your mind with my powers would go very well with my flag for doing the alternate history stuff, right? Like, I could imagine me being like, oh, this architecture is from when, like, the bourgeois pigs were like doing all this stuff, and everyone was like, no, that never happened. And then we could do like a mind trip or something. I could picture that happening.
Oh, that could be fun. Yeah, I'm into that. I also like the idea. I'm really into this idea of that flag of yours, Fraser, that helps us kind of develop the world and the Shadow Court a little bit. I like this idea of the Shadow Court having, like, they have a historical view on things, right? And so even if we're not getting like a totally accurate history, we're getting like, I think we're probably learning more about the Shadow Court than anything else, right? Which I think is good. Cool. Stephen, have you started to think about your flags? What do we have going on?
I've got a couple of flags in. Give me a chance to overcome the expectation of my size.
Oh, I love that. That's so good for a halfling. Yeah.
Give me a chance to fit in with those outside of my tribe.
Outside your tribe, that's super interesting. So, are we to understand that this is not the classic, out in the meadow farming pumpkins halflings? It's like a different thing. Okay.
Yeah. I think these halflings are either nomadic or they are almost like gypsies.
Okay, I'm into that. Yeah.
And so he has left his people, and it's probably unusual to see halflings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, like they would be rare in the world. Okay, good. I think that's a good starting basis for flags. Cool. Well, we're going to take a break here in a minute, just to go grab a drink of water and stuff, and then dive into play. But I want to give you guys just the basic setup here, just to kind of set expectations a little bit. So this adventure is essentially in 2 parts. The first part is significantly smaller than the second part. The first part is you guys are at a location immediately acting on some information about a keeper in order to kill them. Okay, so we're right in the middle of that, and just like the first series, like we kind of started the first series, like we were right at the keeper's door, right? So we're going to do that. It's going to be a little more extended than that first one was, but it's still, I expect we'll get done this session. The second part of the series, which I think will consume the remaining 3 sessions, is going to be separate from this first part, and it's you guys going to investigate this group of people who call themselves the Grey Rangers, okay, which I lifted directly from Fall of Magic, in case anyone cares. So I actually lifted it from a really good session of Fall of Magic that I played in once. So So that's kind of the thing here, right? The two don't necessarily have any reason to connect to one another. Okay, it's like if you imagine it just as like almost like an episodic TV show. That's probably like a good way of viewing the structure here. Okay, this first part, you are in the great city of Eagles Reach. It's a city in the mountains. It's huge. It's a major metropolis. Okay, as far as our world goes, and you are attending the party of Lord Caspian Gall. I'll type that in the chat for you. Lord Caspian Gall he throws parties all the time for no reason. Like he just throws these ostentatious celebrations, sometimes for like the smallest thing, like oh, like this soldier in the city guard got a promotion or something, right? So let's throw a party about it, right? Um, it's almost pathological how often he like feels the need to celebrate, right? You guys have a little bit of like a little deeper understanding. You are there in service to the church because Lord Caspian Gall is not his real name. He's actually one of these heretical monks. He's one of the keepers, and he is the keeper of his key is called the Crying Mirrors. He's keeper of the Crying Mirrors. You are there to kill Lord Caspian Gall, principally. Second thing, which is if you can do that, awesome, is to secure the Crying Mirrors as well. Okay. I'm going to have, when we get back, I'm going to ask you guys some painting scene questions about this scene. I just need to pull up my notes real quickly so I can give them to you now.
Mm-hmm. So since it's a party, and since you let us go hog wild and spend money,
right, yeah.
I have purchased a Dwarven Ale, which I'm actually going to say is actually Frost Ale.
Oh, nice. Okay, good.
which would give us a +1 if we chose to carouse, and that might help us get ourselves in a position here.
Okay, I'm into that. Well, I mean, a carouse, yeah, a carouse could be helpful here. You have a lot of information already, like
Yep.
going into it. But I like it as a fictional starting point for sure. Okay, so let's talk about.
Are these parties like highbrow kind of thing, or is it?
Yeah. So I'm going to be asking you each the following. You're
Okay.
each going to get asked the following. I'm going to want to know as you enter the party at his house, at his man's. I want to know what you look like. Like, did you dress for the party or not? So I want to know that. Getting an invitation is easy, right? Like it's really easy. Like basically anybody who wants to go, he'll find a way to make room for you. So I want to know that. I want to know how you look, and then I'm going to ask you to tell me how this. Tell me what you see that lets you know that this is a place of joy or opulence. Your choice. Okay, joyous or opulence. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then a little extra tidbit is Lord Gall is famously short. He's a human, but he's like really short. And I would like to know what subtle indicators in the party let you know that this mansion is owned by a very short individual. So
Tom Cruise mansion, got it.
Dude. So be thinking about those things. Let's take a 2 or 3 minute break and we'll get going. So you're all in a line, filing in to the party. Okay, I think there's like a swarm of people at this gate in front of his mansion, which has been decorated gaily with um, very festive colors like ribbons and banners and streamers and things like that, right? And everyone's kind of like collected at the gate. Everyone's very, very excited. Um, Everyone was told that it was a masquerade ball, but that they should not bring a mask. So it's a masquerade ball where you don't wear a mask. And so everyone's very excited about like, what does that mean? And who's ever heard of such a thing? Oh, Lord Caspian, it's a whole, thing. Everyone's hubbubbing. And you're all just there standing, waiting to get in. Eventually, a couple of guards or a couple of hired men wearing like very like sort of like poofy velvet, like Swiss Guard style, like attire, march out. They have pole arms and they're wearing horse masks. They have these like silvery horse masks on their faces. They open up the gates and everyone is like filing in. And Lord Caspian himself, Lord Gal, is there as you all file in. He has like a large basket filled with masks. Okay. And he's standing on a little pedestal so that like, as people like walk up, he greets them, he shakes their hands, and then he picks a mask for them based off the conversation he has with them. He determines like which mask is right for you. So it's a bit of a process getting into the mats. As you're all just waiting in line, I just want to find out what everyone's doing while you're waiting. I'll just go around the table and then we'll see if we have any rolls that trigger. Logan Stormbreaker.
Like I'm over encumbered with this 4-weight cask of frost ale, or maybe it's maybe it's frosted ale. So the sooner I can just like get close to one of those guards with the horse mask and just like dump it on him.
That's good.
I'm looking for that opportunity. Meanwhile, like I've trimmed my robes to be a bright crimson right now, and I've just adjusted them subtly so that they look fancier. Same robes as always, but
nice. What about you, Weary? What are you doing in the middle of the crush here?
I think I'm just trying to like blend in and not be as noticed, because I think Weary is always like a little bit hesitant to engage with anyone who's linked to the church. Like last time, he kind of had that thing where he was like seeing himself as going towards the light. So I think he's hesitant to engage with people from the church or linked to it because it draws him towards the light instead of the darkness, kind of thing.
Even people linked to the church that you intend to kill.
Yeah. Well, because he kind of like went against the grain of the Shadow Court just by growing fond and of like everybody in the party, and then especially the Templar, right?
Oh yeah. Okay, interesting. Good. I'll take that as a if something comes up where you might be noticed and it would be advantageous for you not to be noticed, we'll say that you were not. So. Archon, what about you?
Well, usually I wear like a burlap, like that is not appropriate for the party. So I went to an expert in town, and they helped me to dress up, and so I'm really appropriately dressed for a party now.
How are you dressed for the party?
20 gold coins.
That's a lot, actually.
That's
Yeah,
a lot. Yes, but I don't have that much expertise, and I could learn a lot there. So I have a black gown and with silver embroiderings, and I have glitter in my beard, and I have a pink purple feather hat.
Oh, nice, fierce! I'm into it.
Yeah, it looks. I like myself in it, but I don't completely understand what it means to be others.
Indeed. Okay, and so you're otherwise just like standing in line, like letting people admire your finery, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know if I let them, but I learn a lot by the looks they give me.
Indeed. You will learn that this group of people is incredibly shallow, and the sense that you get from them, because you're a scion, of course, the sense that you get from them is like, I like you better because of your fine clothing, right? So they are predisposed positively to you. Well, Hemet, what about you? What are you doing?
Yeah, so I think Hennett actually was hired as one of the guards.
Oh, nice. Okay, good.
So I'm the one with the horse head that Stormbreaker puts the cask onto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like hesitate for a moment. I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah. He's got this big heavy cask, and I think that if there's any issue here, this is how we planned on getting any weapons into the party.
Oh, got it. So like basically anybody who has a weapon, you would be normally disarmed, but you have access to it. So right.
That's
okay,
right.
That's good.
That's right.
I'm into that.
And I think that I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but I've hired movers before to move my house. And basically these guys show up and they look normal, but not big bodybuilders. They're normal looking guys, but then they pick up my couch and put it on their shoulder and
right,
walk out.
Yeah.
That's what this looks like is, he just knows how to balance things and where to put it. And he just picks up the cask and walks off. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. I'm into it. That's good. So that means you have a certain run of the place, which is good. That'll be helpful. Logan, you reach the front of the line eventually, and Lord Caspian Gall is there on his little pedestal with his basket of masks, and he is not wearing a mask. He's actually he's wearing he's in a very very kind of Dutch painting, Dutch masters era, like kind of poofy, velvety, vest and breeches and a little floppy hat, right, with a feather, and sort of like fuchsia in color. And he has he's silver haired, and he has a little mustache and beard. And as you approach, he says, welcome. And what is your name, sir?
And I put my hand out, to shake his. I'm like, Logan. And I think the tips of my beard and the tips of my mustache they have like a special dye in them right now that is just transitioning from crimson to sky blue. And I'm causing my cloak to do the same, to make that transition to sky blue. And I say, Logan Stormbreaker.
And I think he's dazzled by your display here, right? And that's something, because he's not a person who's like to be dazzled, right? But he is. And he says, he says, Stormbreaker, I don't think I know that surname. Tell me. And he points into the sky. Don't you think we've been given a rather romantic evening for this celebration?
Certainly.
How do the stars make you feel?
And I look up and I look back at him. The stars, they seem lonely. They seem jealous. The moon is not with them this evening. And they are not partying with us.
But perhaps they are. And he goes in and he pulls out a gold moon mask, right? And he hands it to you to go in, and then ushers you on your way, right? Weary, you're next. Boy, you're like if you walk up and have to shake his hand, you're gonna be so noticed. Are you gonna try to avoid doing that?
Yeah, I think
you could maybe just try to grab a mask and sneak in, right, without having to talk to him.
Well, I think maybe I have prepared bought my own mask, and I try to do the thief thing. When someone walks in, I sort of walk beside them so that nice. In the TV show, somebody's walking in, and then the camera pans, and I'm right beside them, but you can't tell.
Nice. Give me a. I'm gonna count that as a pickpocket or a tool or tricks of the trade roll.
Okay. So that's +2. Oh, I fail. Of course I fail. On a roll already.
What was your fail roll?
Yeah, what'd you end up with?
I got a 6.
Maybe
Yeah.
help my maybe Logan. He's probably right behind you, right? I mean,
Yeah, maybe I'm trying to do it to you because you have your robes, right? And maybe you're bigger than other people.
Yeah, these robes are really large, but they stay off the ground because I'm constantly keeping them moving. So that would give you good cover, and maybe I do a little extra flare as I like put on the mask. I'll like cause like a little bit of lightning to like happen up in the sky, even though it's cloudless, just to draw everyone's attention away.
Nice.
Ooh.
Give me a you can aid with int.
Okay. Oh my God, snake eyes.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Let me think about that for a moment. I've got 2 fails on the table, or 2 misses on the table. So let me think about that for a minute.
It'd be a neat time for everybody to find out that he's more than he seems, right? Because we know that, but not everybody like on screen knows that.
Would you say, do you mean Logan or
No, because he's a lot more than he seems, right?
Yeah. Well, that'd be helpful to you guys, though, right?
Archon is still coming.
Archon is on his
You can
way.
solve that.
I'm going to hold those 2. I have an idea for how they're going to play out, and I will let you know when I'm doing that. But I'm going to hold them for now. Weary, you're not able to get by him. I think that's like step 1. So he says, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. You have to get a mask. It's a masquerade, after all."
Okay, and I think we see Weary sort of like micro flinch or like a microaggression of like annoyance or something like that. Like, how is it that this person could see me? Like, I think nobody else maybe saw him doing it, but then he did, and he was like, okay, kind of thing. And he's like, oh, of course, I was excited to enter, is all.
He as you go in, he pulls out a mask that is perfectly featureless and black, and he says, "I think this one will suit you just fine." And he puts it on you, and as he's putting it on, he leans in. And he is very short. He has to stand on a little thing.
Right.
He leans in and he whispers in your ear. He says, "Oh, brother, I see you. I wonder, for what purpose could you be here? Doing something for the Shadow Court? Are you here to confer with me, perhaps?"
I'm sure I have no idea what you are speaking of.
He says, "Well, we shall speak later. There's much Shadow Court business to attend to these days."
I think he just sort of does the polite inclination of the head, but isn't going to like, elude that he's corrected anything.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's kind of suggesting that he himself is a member of the Shadow Court, right?
Yeah, but I don't believe him.
Awesome. So that's part 1 of my holds, I think. Good. Archon, you go in. "Greetings, sir. What a fine gown you're wearing, and what a lovely gay feather."
Is it?
Oh yes, very much so.
I've seen you have quite illustrious guests here.
Well,
I see the collar-red creature of lust is here already.
Oh my. Well, I suspect he's going to be here at some point, and I do hope he finds his way into my trousers, if you know what I mean.
Trousers. Well, let's hope that they don't bite anything off.
Oh my. Indeed not. And then he goes and he gets for you a mask that is that's incredibly feminine. It has like very soft feminine features, and like even like a sort of like curly hair, like like curls and ribbons, like in the hair of the mask, right? And he puts it on. He says, "There, you look very lovely now."
And we also have shaked hands.
You have indeed, yes.
That feels I can establish contact.
You can, yeah. Hammett, you have probably you're sticking things like, I think there's like a sort of work storage kind of room, like where you put the ale, you take people's weapons, that kind of thing, right? You're probably like gathering all the weapons of your companions so you can like distribute them and whatnot. But you've kind of had the run of the place, and you've gotten a chance to kind of poke around a little bit. I'm going to give you a free question off DR, and then find out if you want to do anything beyond that.
Okay. So let's see. So I'm going to ask what is about to happen. I think there's a party going on and there's preparation for the party, and that's all obvious, but I'm looking for something that seems a little bit out of place.
Good. One thing I'll tell you is that there's one little bit of drama going on in the household, okay? That is, you don't know the backstory of it. You don't know you don't really know the players involved or anything like that, but you're just hearing the scuttlebutt among the servants, okay? And the thing you're going to learn is that there is there's a maid, a scullery maid, who lives in the house, who is basically threatening. She's threatening to kill herself in front of Lord Gall's guests, okay? And they're trying to keep this information away from Lord Gall, and they're trying to like talk her down. She's suffered from some really, really like intense, it sounds like she's had like a sudden onset of intense melancholy, right? Which, like, the thing you keep hearing is it's atypical for this person. Like, this has happened very suddenly.
Okay.
So that's a thing.
I think whenever we get some time alone at the party, I will relate this to Archon. He seems to be kind of nosy about how people feel, and he might be interested in this whole process.
I think that's probably a good move. You can let him know that whenever you wish. So Archon, you have that information as you need it. Good. Logan, you enter into the receiving hall, which is also kind of like a dance ballroom. There's food, there's all kinds of stuff like that. What do you see that lets you know that this is either a place of opulence and or joy?
So as you come in the front entrance, there is double stairs going up to the main room. Mm-hmm. And dividing that double staircase is a fountain. Mm-hmm. That fountain is flowing with champagne or wine. Mm-hmm. And like at the bottom, there's like a large bowl that like it runs off into. And like as I'm coming in, I see a servant like replace the bowl with an empty bowl and then carry it off somewhere. But I can see like from the main room, this isn't just like a waterfall. Like from the main room, the room is divided in half with a sheet of this wine coming down from the rafters up above. And there's a large hopper that I see the servant like precariously like balancing to go and pour that back in so that it can continue the flow.
Oh, so it's like a people powered pump basically that keeps the wine going. It's good. That's pretty decadent. I'm into it. Any indications that this is the home of a very, very short man?
Around the entire like edge of the room, mm-hmm. there is a 1.5 foot step.
Nice. Okay. It's like a librarian's ladder, but everywhere.
But everywhere. Yeah. So I can only assume that Lord Caspian just always stays around the edges of the room so that he can have conversations at eye level.
Nice. Weary, you're in next with your black mask, your black featureless shadow mask. What do you see that lets you know this is a place of opulence or joy?
I had an idea. I'm not sure it would work now, but since he was like, we knew that he was linked to the church. What I had thought of was like a eyes wide shut thing where people have the masks, but he's got like these huge paintings that are only available to the church, and in front of them are people that are costumed and have whatchamacallit, like makeup all over themselves that embody the characters in these
Oh, like
paintings.
living art, like, or depicting the paintings. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, exactly. And they're I think we get like a long shot of Weary looking at these things, and I think that the Shadow Court is all about like not feeling anything. So I think this is like a very like unnatural place for him, and he's uncomfortable. So it's just like a really uncomfortable long shot on the mask on his face, and it keeps like zooming in until it's over. But yeah, I think that you can also see his like gloved hands like digging in, about to like draw blood or something. They're so tight.
Nice.
And then as for stature, I was thinking maybe the railings are just not that high.
Okay, good.
Like going up the stairs or whatever, they're like not where you expect them.
Like, everybody else has to like kind of move their shoulders a little bit to like put their hand on the rail. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm into that. All right, awesome. Archon, what about you? As you enter the receiving hall, what do you see that lets you know this is a grand, opulent, or joyous place?
Or joyous, yeah. So first of all, I'm quite happy that everything is on my height. So
that's right, because you're a dwarf as well, right? Yeah.
For the doorknob or anything.
That's the thing you notice. Everything's very conveniently placed.
Very conveniently.
How convenient it is.
Yes, it must have been a dwarven home.
Yes.
And but like it's a lot of perfume in the air. I have a very good nose because where I come from, and there's not so much light, so the nose is very. But underneath the perfume, you can smell already that many people have urine and sperm and other hormones very visible for the good eye around them. So everybody is expecting something to happen tonight.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And I can smell that. Some of them are even already are done.
It is a thing. It's that kind of party.
Back from behind the curtains.
Nice. Hemet, does your detail come from the back of the house or the front?
You mean the guard group that I'm with?
Yeah, like the thing you notice that lets you know this is an opulent situation. Is it something you notice like behind the scenes, maybe? Or?
No, sort of. I noticed this basically. It's very opulent because there's a lot of people who are imbibing and smoking, and they're smoking strange substances, and this clings to the ground.
Oh,
so
interesting.
I noticed that there's this rolling smoke because I'm a lot closer to it.
Yeah.
If I bend down, I kind of get into it, and I cough a little bit. So I kind of try and stay above it and stretch up to my height.
Nice,
I can also tell, as we've already established, I can tell this is closer to my height. Now, normally, I have to open doorknobs here, and now I have to open doorknobs here, which is kind of interesting.
Right. Yeah. It's good. Awesome. Well, gang, I think I just want to go around the table and find out what your next move is. I mean, if you want to, at any point, if you want to corner Lord Caspian and assassinate him, that's on the table. You can do that. The other thing is the mirrors, right? Like, you don't know where they're at. If they're all in one place, if they're spread throughout the house, no idea. You don't even know what they do. You don't have many details on that, except that they're called the crying mirrors, and they are typically associated with sadness. And so, yeah. Logan, what's your first move?
I want to try and trigger this, trigger a carouse so that I can learn some more about the situation, maybe get ourselves in a better position for when we ultimately make our move. So I'll find Hemet, and I'll be like, you got the casket.
And I say I did, it took a bit of doing. I had to hide it so that no one else got into it. So where would you like me to take it? Where would you...
Bring it out here, and we'll win some friends right here.
And everyone can have it.
Well, first comes, first served, I suppose.
Ah.
I'll pour.
Okay. So I think the way this will look is since I've met
And I stop you again. I'm like, you're sure you can handle it? It's not too heavy?
No. I think we'll be fine. Yeah. And I kind of smile and
Except you have a mask on.
Yeah, true. But it's kind of a thumbs up.
Yeah, good.
And I kind of walk off. I grab a couple of the servants that have been helping serve things that I've become more familiar with. And I say, grab they have a special, almost a dais that you put these kinds of drinks and that kind of stuff on. So it raises it up above. And I pull over the bartender who would actually tap the cask. Have him tap it. I'll bring the cask over. The servants have the dais along with a number of cups, flagons.
Okay.
Yeah, set it down.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. So I think the way this is going to work is I will. This is kind of a custom carouse in some ways. I'm going to. You'll get the carouse roll with the trigger that you've described. I think you get a +1 for the fine ale you've provided, and then if you need aid from Hemet, you can take that as well, Logan. So, roll +1 and then aid if you need it. So that's
Okay, cool. Yeah, so they bring it out. It's a little bit shorter than I anticipated, so I keep having to kind of reach down to fill.
Right.
And I fill several before I get people's attention. And I try and cause a thunderclap, a little,
nice, yeah.
a little rumble, so that there's a little hush.
Yeah.
And friends, party guests, let us all thank our host, Lord Caspian. And I think there's a little spattering of clapping.
Right, yeah.
And then I'm like, all the way from Frostdale, we bring the famous, or maybe infamous, Frosted Ale.
You notice a couple of voices saying, I prefer Frost Ale, but
All right, we got a 9.
9. Aid will help there. Maybe roll plus charisma for the aid.
Okay. I got a 9.
Okay, so that bumps it up to a 10. And just a reminder for the 2 failed rolls. I forgot to say something, but don't forget to mark XP if you didn't for those earlier missed rolls, rather. Let's look at our move here. So on a 10 plus, you get to choose 3 from the list, and you can choose each one more than once, right? So.
Cool. We get 3. I'll pick one, and then Hemet, if you want to pick one, then I'll pick the last one. We hear rumors of an opportunity.
Okay. Do you want a rumor specifically related to the mission here, or something different? Okay.
Yeah, I think I want something specifically about either the mirrors or an opportunity to isolate Caspian.
Perfect. I'm into that. Okay, great. Hemet, what do you want to choose?
I think befriend a useful NPC. I think this is the distraught woman.
Okay, I'll take that. I'm into it. And then finally?
I think that we are not entangled in sorcelled or tricked.
Okay, that sounds great. Let's hold. I know what's going to happen, but I want to cut. So, Weary, what do you do? What's your move?
I kind of like the idea of while this is happening, like this scene and hubbub is happening, that he makes his way to one of the art pieces, and I think it'd be cool if each of those people embodying the artwork are sort of like living statues, so they can't move. And as you make your way to it at a certain angle, you can see like it lines up perfectly, and the person standing in front of you is exactly where they're supposed to be in the
That's
painting as well.
Yeah.
And I think he is looking at this, and then I have an idea for maybe Archon tapping into what Weary is feeling while he's doing that, and that could be either empathy or the other one where you're learning, like going into people's minds, right? You have, explore the mind with my
I haven't
powers.
been there.
Hmm?
I haven't been for a long time. I would love to go into.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like maybe like a long, like I think I'm sort of just like transfixed, and that's like his guard for his like mind sort of slips, and then it sort of just like, because we have communicated telepathically before, maybe it just like automatically lets you slip back in or something like that. And I think it's the same scene as before, where it's sort of like he's standing on that pedestal and the room around it is all spikes and stuff like that. And there's like a voice echoing in the chamber that's saying like emotion has no place in the shadow court. And there's that same painting that he's watching now, except that it's burning in front of him, and the test is that he can't like move or react to it or like anything like that, even though something precious and beautiful is being destroyed right in front of his eyes. And I think it's also shocking because I think he also thinks that painting is supposed to be like in ash, right, and burned and gone, because he witnessed it, but it's there in front of him, and then also being right in, like embodied right in front of him as well.
Yeah. To get a telepathic touch with you, I need to touch you physically. To cheer to you with a glass of champagne, anyway. And
Oh,
with
sure.
my new appearance, with my feminine mask, I'm bowing down and give you a lustful look, just like the other guests do to each other. Not exactly knowing what I do. And then
So maybe as you give me the glass, you like brush my hand or something, and that's the images that you get, as it sort of like in the movie of this, there's that the fire and the cackling of the thing burning is really loud, and as soon as you touch me, it does like the cut, and then the fire sound stops, kind of thing, and then we start talking, and I sort of like incline my head, and I'm like, Archon. You look different today.
Yes. And you feel different today. The last time I was in your mind and feeling pain.
I think he like looks back at the painting again and says, "Oh, how about these violent delights have violent ends?"
Let's contribute.
Which is
This
maybe like a
painting
misquote
of
even.
reality.
What is that from? I feel like I've heard that recently. These violent delights have violent ends.
It's from Westworld, and it's a quote
That's
from
right.
Shakespeare.
That's right. Yeah, the Westworld's where I've heard it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But maybe in this world, like the quote is something like, "These beautiful delights have like delightful ends," or something like that.
Beautiful
And
delights
instead,
have bloody ends, or something like that. Right?
yeah, but he's misquoted it to make it like in counting with the scripture of the Shadow Court or something like that.
Interesting.
Good.
Good. Do you guys want anything else there with that scene, or?
I don't think so.
Okay, cool. I'm into it. Let's resolve this carouse in terms of the answers. Did we learn something? No, that's end of session. What am I doing? Okay, so the rumors of I'm sorry, say that again?
I said I'll take all the XP.
Let's see here. You hear rumors of an opportunity. That's easy. So one of the things you have to do is you have to kill Lord Caspian, right? The one thing you'll learn, I think it'll get basically, I think Lord Caspian always invites certain people to come to a private chamber in these parties to engage in what is essentially an orgy. Okay. And part of what happens during the party is that he is like kind of swimming around the room trying to pick out his lovers, right? The thing is many of the regular partygoers don't want to be chosen because they don't want to go have an orgy with Lord Gall. And so if you're game for it, that's an in, right? To get him into a relatively private place, right? So that's a thing. Befriending this distraught person. Let me tell you about that, Hemet. Her name is, we shall call her Elsa. Elsa is currently holed up in her room, and she's been there for some days, and she says she's only going to come out when she's ready to end it all. Okay. And at any time you wish, you can have that scene where you like kind of reach out to her or whatever, right?
So now sounds like a good time.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So there's a private moment. I think basically they've set a guard on the room, and it's your turn.
Okay. And I think that I just talked to her. I asked her about her homeland. Is she from here? This is just to establish some.
Is this on the other side of the door, or do you go in?
I think this is on the other side of the door.
Okay.
I might ask later if I can enter, but I think right now I'm just a guard standing outside, sitting outside, and I think that I tell her about my homeland. I tell her about how much I miss it. I ask her about hers, just so she understands me as a person, and kind of opens up herself to me a little bit.
Yeah, indeed.
I think partway through that conversation, that might be whenever I ask to enter, and I'll step inside if she grants it.
She does. I think I'm going to give you the benefit of the role here. You go in, and she's in a. So it's essentially like a 2-person servants' quarters, right? There's like 2 beds, and the most interesting thing that you discover when you go in, you notice it before you notice her, is that there is. As soon as you walk in, on the wall opposite the door, there's a large oval mirror. It's far too fancy to be in the servants' quarters. Okay. And there's a drop cloth on the floor, as if like it used to be covered up, but it's been taken off and thrown aside at some time ago. Mm-hmm. And then you see Elsie sitting on the edge of the bed, looking very distraught, or just kind of blank-faced, like kind of pale and blank-faced. And she says, "Oh, you're even shorter than Lord Gall. Under different circumstances, I might find that amusing."
I tell her, many people do. It's what's inside a person that counts, not the outside.
All I have inside me is a hollowness that needs to be relieved.
I think that, so the entire time I talk to her, and I keep my eyes averted away from this mirror. It's full of witchcraft and.
Well, it's a little high up, right? You may not even like meet it, right?
So is it a small mirror or like a tall?
It's like the size of it's like a kind of like half body size, right?
Okay,
okay. So like I think maybe like the top of your head would be.
Okay, but it's not it's not full size kind of mirror.
No.
Okay. And I think that I'll say. I think that you haven't always felt this way. Do you remember a time whenever you didn't feel empty? And
yes.
I think I'm going to try and sneak up. You said that there's a drop cloth. I think I'm going to try and edge my way around to put the drop cloth back over the mirror so I don't have to keep my eyes averted.
Yeah, you can throw it back over.
Yeah.
And as soon as you throw it back over, you notice an almost instant alleviating of her mood, right?
Mm-hmm.
She takes like a deep breath, like a sigh of relief almost. She's like, I don't know what's gotten into me. I just feel so alone lately,
Well, I can tell you that there aren't many people here who are truly alone. As you can see, Lord Gaul has and his people care enough for you to post a guard, and we are all here to, help you. And there are people here who care about you. Otherwise, no one, you would have gone forward with whatever you wanted to do.
She says, I just thought perhaps that the curse of this house is taking me. I'm not the first servant over the years to have thoughts like this and to silence them.
I'm certain you'll be able to overcome such things. You seem a very strong person. I'm going to go back to my post and call if you need me or need anything. I suggest you get some rest, and you may feel better. And I'm going to step back outside and close the door.
Okay.
Logan is waiting outside for you. Well, did you find anything?
The distraught servant is inside. She is very fragile, but I believe she's going to sleep now. Inside is a mirror that was uncovered, and I believe may be the source of her depression. It is now covered, but I warn you, do not uncover it, or you may become its victim as well.
I must examine this situation more closely.
The evil mirror, the spirits in the mirror may corrupt you. Be careful. Let's give it a moment until the woman falls asleep.
And I just open the door and go in.
There we go. Okay.
And she kind of gets, she's like, who are you?
I say,
Go ahead, Emmett.
I say, this is a friend of mine who wanted to understand what it was like to be a servant.
And I look at you, and even though I'm wearing this moon mask, you can see the incredulity in my eyes.
So what are you intending to do here, Logan?
I will let her tell me all about what it's like to be a servant, and I'll just keep nodding and be like, "Oh yes, tell me more." But I'm just here to investigate this mirror.
Mm-hmm. I guess this is probably are you looking for this sort of hidden things here, or is this more of a spout lore, based off your accumulated knowledge? You're putting some pieces together, or are you looking at it physically to see what you can find out?
Both. As she's talking, I will take a book out from inside my cloak and open the book,
right? Yeah.
Start reading about it, and then I'll peek. I won't look at the mirrored surface, but I'll look at the frame.
Yeah.
And I'm doing all that and still just yes, tell me more about that.
Go ahead and roll spout lore with your +1 for the book. You should have to name the book.
8, 9.
This might be an aid situation, right? I mean, easy.
Yeah. So I think that the aid is going to be from Hemet, basically talking to the woman about while she's describing what it's like to be a servant. I will interject in my, every once in a while, this is what it's like in my land, and tell stories of the evil spirits that come from, the reflections or the unnatural beings within the world. Let's see what that looks like. I got a 9. Yeah, I got a 9.
Yeah, as long as you don't go below 6. I don't know. I'm not sure what the stat is there. Maybe probably wisdom or charisma. Maybe, I don't know. Okay. But it bumps you up to a 10 in any case. So I have to tell you something interesting, something useful, and then something hidden, right?
Yeah, something interesting, useful, and then since this is magical, a little known secret about the subject.
Oh, okay, good. Great. So the interesting thing is, this is totally one of the crying mirrors, just to confirm that. The useful thing is there are 2 more, and they are both oval in shape, okay? And the third thing you're going to learn is the really secret thing is these mirrors are actually a conduit to a fey realm of sadness, and the people on the other side of the mirrors are basically malicious fey spirits that want you to be as sad as them. So, what do you guys do? How do you conclude this scene? Do you take the mirror, or do you just like what do you do?
It's a big mirror.
It's like crown of your head to your like chest, right? Like it's like, you know.
Yeah. I
it's
will
not that
like
big.
I will just like take some twine or something and fix the canvas to it.
Mhm.
Like lift it off the wall, and it's pretty heavy, and I kind of set it down, and I look at Hammett, and I'm like, I look back at the mirror, and I look back at Hammett.
And I
Like-
walk over and I kind of like pick it up by, you know, just the right spot and kind of put it on my shoulder. And I say, I think this belongs in another part of the keep.
Mhm.
And
I look at the woman, and I'm like, I don't know how he does that.
I'm into this. So I guess just to wrap it up here, what was the name of the book?
It was Catalog of Heretical Artifacts, Volume 7 it's from our church.
Nice. Okay, good. Awesome.
So I think we've actually, before we came in, we prepped an escape route. And I think the way this looks is whenever I got hired, I started working in the stables, and we have a cart back there. So I think that's where we should take the mirror, is to this cart, so that whenever we get ready to book after the assassination, you know, everything's ready.
Awesome. And I assume you guys have shared this information quietly with Archon and with Weary, like just told them like, hey, look for oval mirrors or whatever, right?
Yeah, I'll pass the word around as soon as we exit the room.
Awesome, cool. Well, so Weary, you have some information here then. Like how do you follow up on that?
Let's see. Well, also I had an idea too. When I said that line, the violent delights have violent ends, maybe it was in this close to or in the presence of what's his face, the guy that we're supposed to kill, Caspian.
Mhm.
And maybe it's also like a signaling from the Shadow Court saying like you're in danger now too, right? So that if he is Shadow Court, then he'll know, and if he isn't, then he's just gonna die anyway, and I don't care.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Give me a. This is a DR, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Which is wisdom.
Mhm.
And my wisdom is nothing. Okay. So let's see if I level up. 9, not bad.
Okay, one question.
Let's see. I've got my book right here. Basic moves. Hack slash. Spout lore. Defy danger. Maybe I'll switch back to PDF. It seems like it's better.
Probably a little more efficient. Do you just need the questions? I can give them to you.
What here is not what it appears to be. I think that would fit.
It's Lord Gaul. He has no reaction at all when you say that.
Oh, that liar. Okay.
But he still knew you were a member of the Shadow Court. So
yeah, which means he definitely needs to die. Ooh, I know. Okay, so I want to do like an Assassin's Creed thing where I'm like, you know, in those games, whenever they move in crowds, somehow they're just like weaving and kind of like pushing people aside or whatever. Somehow,
right,
I want to do that. And then with my dagger, I want to do like a very thin stab through the back and pierce his heart and then like walk away kind of thing.
Lord Gaul?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going straight for the
You're
kill.
killing him right now?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Well, I think part of it is because he is overwhelmed by emotion from the looking at the painting and stuff, and it's like an outlet to it. It's almost like an impulse that he can't curb right now.
Well, so maybe we can complicate this a bit. I mean, Archon, maybe you will see you'll
Going
maybe
for
go
it.
sense and you'll see what Weary's about to do. Like he's making a move on Lord Gaul right now. How would you react?
Mind. And as much as I want to be in two people's mind who are about to kill each other,
Yeah.
I was just so excited about feeling that this anger coming up in you that he was lying about the Shadow Court, and I want to indulge in that further. But I also want to read the soon-to-be victim's heart. Yeah. But if I need to interfere first with you getting
Yeah, that's the thing.
changing his stream of thought by putting a dagger in his heart, so.
Well, so
Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, are we? Is are you going to try to stop him? Like you can see, you know what he's about to
Yes.
do.
Yeah, well, I can talk with him in his mind. Weary.
I have
I'm a bit weary about what you're doing there.
Oh, God. I think it'd be interesting if in my mind I'm still sort of back at the Shadow Court and that voice that's talking to me. Maybe like my master or whatever, like who has a different face every time or something, is like close to the burning image and talking to me, except that when you sort of go in my mind and start talking through my master to try to convince me not to. Like maybe you are my master right now, kind of thing.
Like you can feel my mental fingers like browsing in your treasure of memories, looking for specific pieces to pull them out to trigger your obedience.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Your master's mind might work. His voice was always effective.
Well, so we can do this one of two ways. I mean, if you want to still go for it, Weary, I'll give you the roll, and then we'll have interfere after that. If you just want to just roll with this and just agree to not do it, then that's fine. Also, like wherever you want to go with it.
It's up to. I would say like I would like to poll the group and say what is more interesting for everybody. Like that I try to do this, or that we just kind of like continue and try to do
I think the
something
murder
else.
orgy is the more interesting thing personally, but
Okay.
This is me. I'll let the group but this is an opportunity. I mean, no matter how you get it done, I mean, you're getting it done, except you haven't found the other two mirrors yet also. So.
Right. Could it be a thing? Could it be like a specific move that I'm doing against the guy that like will kill him later? Like I do the blow now and later on, like it's like a 5-finger death punch thing where like after
do you have
an
like
hour
poison
or
or something? Do you have poison or anything like that? Or?
I have that oil of Tadjin or something like that.
Does that just put him to sleep though?
Yeah. Could I have bought one that kills him?
If you want to spend your entire supply to really overdose him, I take that.
Oh, sure. I'll do that. Yeah, and then maybe that way later on, it's ensured that he will die.
He'll
and
die,
I like
no matter what. Yeah.
And I like that maybe it's even sort of.
He'll
like,
fall asleep like right now, though.
Well, could I have it? Well, it's applied through my blade, right? So couldn't it just be like a pin prick thing to his kidneys, and later, like in an hour, it gets him or something like that? No?
I guess.
I'd be okay with that. Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't have to be like instantaneous. We can hand wave that. That's no big deal. So okay.
But I like the tension of people being like, "Oh shit, where he's about to kill the guy," but then he's like, "Okay," or whatever, you know.
Okay, so you have like a really thin little blade, like little thing here, and you kind of like stick him. He feels it like a hornet bite or something, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think so. Like, I think when you do this, it's not going to kill him, so we don't have to worry about that. But I think like you prick him with this thing, and he's like, oh, I think my gallbladder is going to be giving me trouble again. And he kind of grabs his side, right? And and then I think a servant comes to see if he's okay and everything, and you could kind of just like slip away, right?
I think it's like he hears a whisper and it just says "pretender" while I like.
Got my eyes on you.
Well, Weary, I can tell you that was not pretending. It hurt. So
Indeed, indeed. Well, so Archon, what about you? What's your next move here?
I was not only in Weary's mind, I can multitask. I can multitask around this, and so I was also in Lord Caspian's mind, Caspian Gal mind. Sorry for the background noise.
It's okay.
It's so I have this move called Heart's Sorrow,
Mm-hmm.
where I can look into someone's heart. And last time I leveled up, I got an extra question I could add to the list,
Mm-hmm.
which is that I can find a secret pain, victim a secret pain, and I can leverage on from that one if I find out.
Ah, indeed, indeed. Well, so what do you want to know?
Let me first roll my Heart Sorrow.
Oh, it's a move that
Look
triggers.
into-
Okay, go ahead.
It's a move I have to roll on Wisdom. And I get an 11.
Nice.
So I have 2 options from the list. I learn about the Heart Secret,
Okay.
and I learn about. I additionally find. No, one of the options is I find a secret pain in their heart.
Mm.
That one I will choose. And the other one is. The secret is presented with greater context.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Otherwise, it's not.
So he is engaged, of course, in the Byzantine, complex, cryptic, not easy to understand motivations and greater conspiracy of the keepers, right? But here's the reason why he chose, or why he's particularly focused on the crying mirrors. He's focused on the crying mirrors because I think you get a vision of a young Lord Caspian Gall crying over the body of his young wife, who has taken her life, right? And or a lover, possibly. They may not be married because presumably he was a monk at some point, but a young lover who took her own life. And I think he is also kind of fundamentally interested in understanding the nature of the heart and what causes people to behave in the way they do. And just to give you a little bit of extra context, he put that mirror in the servants' quarters expressly to tempt servants to pull the cloth off to see if they would look in the mirror and see how they would react. And this Elsa is not the first person, so all part of his studies.
And I have a feminine-looking mask, and he's mourning his wife.
Indeed.
Interesting.
Let's take a quick break. Take 2 minutes.
Mm. That break was so timely because you couldn't see that, but with one hand, I had to push back a king-size mattress, which was about to fall on me and my computer. And I was so close to like losing my breath. So this stuff there was like.
Well, that's good.
Garrett, where are you?
In Guatemala.
Guatemala. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's called the bad internet connection.
I think we played Urban Shadows, and you said you were on Pacific time, and I wasn't sure where that would be.
Oh yeah, that's because there's no daylight.
When
So I'm
did you guys?
I'm on Central Time.
When did you guys play Urban Shadows? Yesterday?
Friday.
Oh, Friday.
Steven and I have like sessions
I
together
still-
in 1 month.
I still haven't even played Urban Shadows, and I've read the book like 4 times because I love it.
I'm not so sure for me. Urban Shadows, I played a one-shot once, and then I'm playing this now, so we've had 1 session so far.
Hmm.
But the way that the game is set up, it points everyone at each other.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with there being with party members having their own agenda. But the 1 session that I played, there was a lot of PvP. Where it was like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
now I'm going to beat him up. And I was like, I'm not so sure I enjoy that. So
What was this?
Urban Shadows.
Urban, yeah.
Does it have the tools to like accommodate that kind of play?
No, it has the same PvP mechanics as every other PBTA game.
It does explain it better, though. I think the text.
It does, yeah. It makes
Wow.
it clear, but it's still like you
It's the
interfere
same.
with
Yeah,
each other.
it's still the same.
Oh, also, I was thinking with that scene, I think it'd be cool if maybe I had both things. Like I had that little needle and I had my dagger, and we were unsure if I was going to kill the guy or not. And then that way, it kind of clarifies that Archon was the one that saved the guy's life for the time being. And that.
Yeah, I kind of understood. I understood it that way myself, for sure.
Oh, okay.
But that's
And
good.
I
to get it.
was also what I want.
Mhm.
So at the last moment, I didn't know what I prefer.
Logan and Hemet, what next?
Well, we got to find these other 2 mirrors. Do you suppose our servant friend might know where they are?
We might play our hand too much, but she might be the best person to ask. Oh, certainly. Do you want to ask or do you want me to?
I think you have a better working relationship.
So I'll go back to Elsa, and I'll say, Elsa, I need a favor. I think I might be in trouble. We were supposed to take these mirrors and put them someplace else. And there's 3 of them, but there's only 1 here. Do you know where the other 2 that look like this are?
She says 3 of them. There are 5 in total.
Oh, well, obviously everything's jumbled because I was supposed to take the 3 that were in here and put them someplace else. If there's 5 now, then I guess we need to know where they are.
She said, "Yes. There are 4 more mirrors covered with the same cloths." She says, "There's one in Lord Gal's library, one in his personal quarters. There is one in his trophy room, and one library, personal quarters, trophy room. Oh."
So much. We really appreciate it. I think you've saved me. I owe you a favor.
She's like, don't think anything of it. I think I need to rest. And then she lays back down.
Thank you. So we'll step back out. So now we have locations.
I'll put those down for you if you want.
Okay.
I put it in the group chat.
Okay.
I think it might be the easiest to find. I don't know which of these places would not have guests at the moment. Maybe the library.
I think
It's-
the trophy room is probably the only one that may, but the rest should be pretty cleared out. Everyone's kind of in the ballroom reception
Right.
area. So
I'm hesitant to go towards his personal quarters just because that might have greater security.
Yeah.
So let's take care of the library and the sitting room first.
Yeah, and I lean down closer to you. I still have this mask on, and I'm like,
Oh, no, I've got the horse head mask.
yeah, yeah. So the moon's near the horse head, and I'm like, there are only 3. If we figure out which 2 are counterfeits, we won't have to bother trying to move them out of the room.
I don't know what I don't know where these evil objects can be. I say we just take them all.
And I just tapped where my nose would be on my mask, and I'm like, trust me, this is going to be easier if we just I can identify which are real and which are not. We need not arouse further suspicions by taking the whole lot.
Where do you begin?
I suggest that we begin with the trophy room, because if we can identify that one as a counterfeit, then we won't have to worry about getting it out of a crowded area.
Yeah, the trophy room is probably like the most likely to be trafficked if there's going to be anybody in there. And in fact, as you guys wander in, as you kind of go over there, you will see a few people walking around looking at the stuffed. It's like a hunting trophy room, right? They're like stuffed, like taxidermied animals and things like that.
Are they like lower on the wall?
They're smaller animals, honey badgers, bobcats, things like that for sure.
Like chipmunks and whatnot.
No, not that small.
No.
But like badgers, honey badgers, regular badgers,
like a possum.
Right. Yeah.
Possums are fierce.
They are actually. Running into a possum at night is a fucking nightmare. It's like the worst thing. They are fucking monstrous. They're hateful as hell. Like their cute like pop culture persona is not well earned. They are hateful ass animals.
It's true.
I had a fight with one last week. Yeah.
Did you really? Yeah, they're the worst.
Fought by trousers.
Wow. I wouldn't like that. Okay. And so when you go in there actually will be a few people like roaming around, like looking at things. And just at a glance, you'll see the mirror on a wall covered up. There's like a mirror with a cloth over it. Easy.
Uh-huh.
What do you do?
I'll get nearer to it and see if I can figure out if it's a real one or a counterfeit one.
Okay. Well, so
I think I'm going to, while he's doing that, I'm going to go up to the people who are in this room and kind of usher them out.
Yeah, because you have some authority, right? You can be like, get out of here. I'm into that. Give me a Discern Realities roll. And that can count as aid if you need it.
Okay. I have 10.
Okay. Ask away.
What here's not what it appears to be.
It was hard to tell because of the cloth, but this is a rectangular mirror, not an oval mirror.
Okay. I mean, that's probably most of what I need to know. What here's useful or valuable to me?
You can sense that the mirror is otherwise magic.
Oh, really? What is about to happen?
If you pull the cloth down, you're going to get a really good sense of just how powerful Lord Gall is in the arcane arts.
Oh, shit. I look at, yeah, like I just have like all you can see are my eyes and this moon face, and I just like have this like lustful, greedy look, and then I look at Hemet, and I look at the mirror, and I look back at Hemet,
and Hemet says, "No, wait, don't."
And I'm like, "We're taking this one too."
Oh, okay, that's fine. We should take that one. Is it one of the 3?
No, but we're taking it.
Oh, okay.
And I cut back to the other group.
Yep.
Okay, so everything's kind of proceeding apace here. I mean, you know that the other two their investigation is going well. You occasionally see them like skulking out the back with a mirror, right? Like to like put it in there. Like it's all it's all happening. So what's next, Weary?
Well, I think now would be a good time for someone to hit one of my flags. Then maybe
Which flag did you have in mind?
send me into the shadows.
Which shadows? Like what for what purpose?
Well, we know that the guy's into like orgies or whatever,
Yeah.
so maybe send me ahead to.
Yeah. Weary. Yeah. Weary. I think
Archon speaking here. Archon speaking in your mind.
Argon, you can go over there and have you could just have a conversation with
Your mission lead is calling.
So we'll put you together. We'll put you and Archon together, just kind of at a little lull in the party, like while things are going on. You see Lord Gaul occasionally like going up and like he'll go up to like a very tall, good-looking, handsome man, and his very tall, compared to him, tall, good-looking wife, and he'll put his arms around their waists and say, "So, will you be joining me later tonight for a little bit of extracurricular activities?"
Yeah, maybe. Well, I have two ideas. Maybe I could be sent to do a mirror as well, or maybe I should be sent to infiltrate the room where he has his orders beforehand in case something goes wrong, or to stage it like a crime scene after or whatever. I don't know.
I mean, aren't you intent on killing this guy? It seems like you'd be best off.
You're
In the
all
orgy
intent
room.
on killing him.
Well,
True. But I think it's more personal.
That's true, yeah.
Isn't he like a dead man walking? Like, isn't that the case?
I think no matter what, he's
Yeah.
going to die. But you don't get the benefit of the Slay the Keeper move, though, if you don't, like, do a killing
Yeah.
blow.
Indeed, we need to be there, and I have to be in touch with him. And unfortunately, he will die, and not before my hour of being in touch with him is over. So I need to touch him again.
I think I approach Archon, and I'm like, and I lean close, and I'm like, "This is your chance to show the rest of the group that you are still one of us. We need you to slay the Keeper, but first, the mirrors."
Well, you still have some time. I will take care for this person. I know a certain secret from him. He is still mourning the death of his wife. Maybe I can be his wife. I have a feminine face now anyway, as you can see.
And
Also, yeah.
and I'm like, "You're in touch with Weary?"
Yes, I am. You don't know how well I am in touch with him.
Get Weary to check out that mirror in the private quarters. And then I look at Himmet, who is like currently carrying out a mirror, and I'm like, that one's damn useful.
Good. So everything is proceeding as planned. Very good. Now I need to join an orgy now.
And I just like give like a one nod and then like try and drink, but my mask is in the way and I have to like, lift it up.
Yes.
If the mirror
Yeah.
is in the like orgy room or whatever, I kind of like the idea of me trying to get the mirror out while they're all going at it and stuff.
It's not, though. It's in his personal
okay.
quarters are yeah. If you're going to do the personal quarters, well, yeah, there's the personal quarters, the library, and the what's the last thing left?
We've got the personal quarters, the trophy room, the library, the sitting room.
The sitting room, library, and personal quarters are the three that's
First-
left, and the order's not happening in any of those.
Yeah, I'm sitting weary because I expect the personal quarters are the only one that might be locked up or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, good
That
point.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And then Archon can do the killing blow.
Indeed.
Well, be around when the poison is hitting in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, Weary, his bedroom's
That's
not
good.
locked, and you can sneak in easily. What do you do?
Then I do so. Or well, I check for traps.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, like getting into the room, there's nothing. You can check for traps
Oh.
now if you wish. Like once you're in the room.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good. All right. Let's see what happens here.
Just to make things extra complicated, the walls are covered in mirrors.
9.
A collage of mirrors.
A collage of mirrors.
A collage of mirrors. Yes.
Like, is it like paint that makes it seem like a mirror? Or
No. No. Collage like is a I mean like an arrangement of multiple mirrors on the wall.
Okay. Because I was just thinking that would be cool too if it was like paint that was mirrors or whatever too.
Oh, to echo his like whole like real world, fake world thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm doing. Is there a trap here?
Yes.
And what does it do?
Well, is it what activates? What's the question? What activates it, or what specifically do you get to ask? That's important here.
I believe it's the one that's if there's is there a trap here and what does it do? And then the second one is disarming it, right?
I think that doesn't sound right. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't think
it's
right.
the question is there a trap here, and if so, what activates it? So I don't tell you what it does, but I tell you what activates it. Okay.
Okay, that's the one.
There is a trap here. It's a mirror that it's the only mirror not reflecting your reflection back at you as you walk across it.
That's cool.
As you kind of move through the room, the reflection that you see in this mirror is it's actually Lord Gaul staring back at you from the mirror, except it's like a tall, broad-shouldered, powerful version of Lord Gaul, right? Staring at you, like an idealized Lord Gaul staring back at you. If you interact with it at all, and it's going to try to interact with you, that's what activates the trap.
Oh, okay.
And it will say, "Excuse me, what are you trying to do? For what purpose are you in my bedroom?"
So is it implied because I only get the one question that I can't deactivate it then?
No, that's a different move. To deactivate the trap is a different move. That's Tricks of the Trade.
Oh, okay. I'll try to do that then so I can figure out how to do that.
Do you respond to the mirror?
Why isn't me disarming it knowing if I should or not?
Well, you know that you can't interact with it because that's what'll be.
Then
trigger the
no,
trap. Yeah. Okay.
no,
So you
I
just
don't.
ignore him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Well, then how would you go about trying to disarm it? I think that's the next question. It could just be as simple as covering it up, right?
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I like the idea of if it's hung, I would like maybe to turn it towards one of the other mirrors so he starts talking to himself and interacting with himself because maybe it's not that smart or something.
Okay, nice. I'm into that. Okay, well, give me a disable traps roll plus dex.
Okay. 11. Haha.
Very good. So it goes off without a hitch, right? No problemo. Here's what happens when you do it. You grab this. So describe, what do you do? How do you what do you do?
I sort of keep to the sides of the room as he's trying to like interact with me, and I imagine him like turning to try to talk to me and stuff like that. Yeah. And then I imagine maybe all of the things hung here are like pretty decadent and can be moved, like swiveled and stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah.
So then there's like a small creaking sound as I move it to look towards another mirror, and then I imagine him just interacting with himself mirrored, right?
Yeah, and he does, and I think he says, "Oh, who are you, you devastatingly handsome man? You're so powerful, so vile. I don't think I've ever seen anyone as tall and handsome as you are." And as that's happening, you notice that the other mirror that he's speaking to, the mirror itself, begins to like shrink and gets like really, really small until it's like you can hold it in your hand, and then eventually it just turns into a mouse.
Into a mouse?
Into a mouse.
Oh, I did not see that coming. Okay.
And the mouse skitters off.
I'm trying to find this move that I just did too. I don't know if I'm looking at the wrong
Tricks of the Trade?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. for some reason, just the way that the character sheet was laid out on the PDF, I guess I was looking at the next sheet and not the thief.
I'm going to cut away. So, Hemet, what are you up to?
Just had to get off mute. So I think that Hennet is.
You keep saying Hennet. You have Hemet written down. Is it Hennet or Hemet?
Oh, Hemet. It is Hemet.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure I wasn't saying it wrong.
Yeah. So basically, I am. I've been ferrying back and forth to the different locations, the mirrors that we find, as Logan identifies them, and I think I'm also taking a little bit of extra time, since we know where they are, to kind of shoo patrons away from that area. Like, you know, as I head towards an area where I don't think they should be, I'm like, you shouldn't be here. You should go back to the main party.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. That's good. And I think, like, once you get word from Weary that he found the other trap mirror, then you'll know that the remaining mirrors are the legit ones, right? So that's easy enough. I think we can kind of just roll forward with that and say that you guys can eventually, because especially because as like everybody gets more and more drunk and more like strung out, like you'll be able to sneak things out much easier even than you you probably originally realized, right?
Yeah.
So that's good. That can be going on, no problem. Archon, what about you?
I want to be part of the orgy.
Indeed, yes.
And that's the one thing. The other is
he hasn't had many takers yet.
Yeah, so I try to, like, because I can read his mind. Well, however, there's one problem. First is two, in fact. Like the one is he took like pain-killing substances because of the pain in his liver.
Right. Yeah.
And this is making my vision of his mind more blurry.
You can probably tell he's getting sleepy, right? I mean.
Yeah, that's terrible. Well, I don't want to enter his mind like actively, that he senses that I'm there, but still I want to push him, like giving him like little whispers. And because I have this secret knowledge about his wife, I'm trying to be his wife, and also making him like aware of me by very carefully going into that. The other problem is he is also getting drunk.
Right. And
I need to keep level with him. Otherwise, my mind is not fitting his. Like his brain is changing. Neurologically, and so I also get drunk. And I would suggest that before I do anything, I need to defy danger from being too drunk.
Well, there's no I get where you're going with this, like that, like it's sort of you lose control or whatever. I think I will just have that be the consequence of a future failed roll if we need it, right? In the fiction, I'm with you though. Like I'm with this idea of like, you know, you're kind of like barely keeping control over it, right? And I think maybe you guys are even like, I kind of like the idea of the two of you are like influencing each other in a subtle way to where you, like, I think he walks up to you and like knowing you're wearing a mask and knowing you're otherwise a man, he goes, or at least that you present as a male dwarf, right? He goes up to you and he says, "Oh, hello, you beautiful, beautiful lady. What are you doing after the party is over?"
The party isn't over when the guests think it's over, but to know that we continue party to a new level of pleasure and something else as well.
Oh,
it's deep in our heart, isn't it?
This sounds positively scandalous. Yes, let's.
Yes, it does. Ooh, look at this hot blonde over there. Ooh,
are you pointing?
Invite her as well.
Are you looking at? Are you looking at anybody in particular, or just like a person, a random person?
I was thinking about a random person, but if somebody wants to opt into our nice little orgy.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah, like are the party members going to opt into this? Because he was inviting men and women. I think he's pretty like open as far as all that goes.
Absolutely.
So,
I'm into humans now.
Yeah. So does anybody want to opt in on this, or Logan? This might be your jam.
Probably not, but like if like he just points at me, like I'll go along with it for the sake of the plan.
He'll say,
Fantastic.
"Oh yes, yes." And then he looks at Logan and he's like, "She has a wonderful way with." And he looks at you, and he's staring at Logan.
I can tell you she's mind-blowing. Like the
And-
wind, like a storm, she can conquer your heart.
Yeah.
I just like point at myself and like look this way and that. Like, did you mean me?
Yes, I'm feeling a rush of erotic energy, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to contain it for much longer.
I can hold your hand. Let's approach her. I think we can convince her easily if we tell her about a secret we can share with her afterwards.
Indeed. And then I think as you both approach, Lord Gaul says to you, Logan, he says, "Goddess of the moon, will you join us for a bit of a coda to the evening?"
And like baritone voice, I'm just like, I suppose if you want to seduce a lady, you better have something interesting to lure her to your room.
I know that you're more lady than you might imagine by yourself, and we will show you how much lady you are.
I need a pretext. I must have a pretext. I am a goddess of virtue.
He says,
What interesting thing will you show me in your room?
and Lord Gaul says, "If you come up with me to my special place, I will lay you down on a carpet of red roses, and there shall be music playing, and we will become one with each other. And then we're going to fuck each other's brains out."
Oh, yes. And learn about all our secrets.
Yes, that too.
I'm trying to get him to like promise that there will be something there, like a magical something or other that I'd be interested in.
Well,
Huh?
it may just be. It may just be a party with Archon then.
Yeah. But I like point at like I point at like somebody wearing the sun mask, and I'm like, but what will I tell the sun that I am going with you to do? What is my pretext? I must be able to tell him something. He is jealous.
The sun shine on us while we are bedded on roses.
And we shall watch things grow.
What?
I had more than
Yeah, I don't think he's getting the moon in the sack.
Oh,
well, I think I need to help the Caspian a little bit and enter his mind again and whisper him secrets about Logan only I know.
hmm.
But like very, very carefully. He doesn't recognize it's not coming from himself.
Indeed. I want to cut away from that for a minute. It's good.
Yeah.
Weary, what are you up to after you've disarmed this mirror, or at least made it to where you've discovered that the real one's not in here? So,
Oh, okay. I guess I'll go to the closest room that has a mirror other than this, I guess.
we've established we've already secured all the mirrors, so no.
Oh, I think I like the idea of me sort of laying in wait at this orgy place to help
Okay.
them
Okay, so you're just lying in wait. Okay, cool. So that's good. I just want to get everybody on the board here. What about you, Hennet or Hemet? Where would you be after?
So I think that I'm gonna set up. I'm probably gonna check in on Elsa, make sure she's resting well,
Indeed.
and tell the guard at her door to take very special care of her.
Indeed.
And I think after that, I think I'm gonna set up for the rest of the mission, which is to. I know that things are gonna go down at the orgy. I've heard enough about that.
Mm.
And I think, if you don't mind doing a little bit of a flashback, I think that I've been invited to the orgy.
Oh, because you're short, right?
Because I'm different.
Yeah.
It's a more exotic taste. I'm not sure Hemet knows fully what to expect, but it seems like a ritual that these people engage in from time to time.
Mm.
So I think that I might be under the impression I'm a guard at first, and then whenever I see that there are no other guards at the orgy, maybe it's time to join in.
Good. And you will know, you'll get a sense, Archon, that the reason why he's invited Hemet is because it makes him feel taller and more virile if there's someone shorter than him engaged in the activities. So, great. So I think we can just kind of lead right in. I mean, Logan, it sounds like maybe you're keeping watch then.
It sounds like it sounds like I'm not interested in being in the room. I will actually leave the party, remove my mask, turn my robes, pitch his night, and be ready with the cart,
Okay, yeah.
in case we need to make a quick getaway.
Get the horses ready and all that stuff. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's just have this scene then. I mean, I'm just going to dictate it. I don't need any roles here. Because he's drunk and totally, vulnerable, right? So so let's talk about the room first. The room is ridiculous. It is he's not lying. There's a literal carpet of red roses in the room. There's just piles of red rose stems, which is maybe not the most comfortable thing to lay down on and make love on, but nevertheless, it's what's there. The room is otherwise draped in the most vivid, rich red velvet. Everything is just practically painted with this red velvet, right? The couches, the drapes, and all that stuff. The wallpaper even has a sort of velvety red. It's a red velvety, substance with a sheen to it, right? And you go back there with him, Archon and Hemet. Where are you hiding in all that, Weary?
I'm thinking maybe up above in my traditional place, the banisters or something. Yeah.
Maybe there's I think there's probably there's a viewing gallery, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
So people can go up there and watch if
Right.
that's the thing, right? But that's not happening tonight. Tonight he's never really able to convince somebody to do this. So
right. Whatchamacallit? Maybe I like the idea of the orgy perpetuating his death as well, because as he gets excited, it pumps the poison faster through his body or whatever, right?
Right. Yeah. That's good. Well, so I guess I just want what I need to know is who's going to deliver the killing blow here, and at what moment, and under what circumstances. I'll remind you guys that we have a custom move here for whenever you slay the keeper.
Yeah, so it just depends if they want the killing blow to be the poison or not, but to get a little bit of retribution, I want to have maybe scrolled a passage on the roof of the room from maybe the Shadow Court that sort of twists a passage from the traditional Bible or whatever that the guy is linked to for the church, just so that when he's dying, he knows that the Shadow Court knows what he's done. Right?
Nice. I'm into that. So again, who's doing the killing blow then? Archon?
I'm not doing the killing blow, in the sense that I'm not connected anymore with him, because while the orgy is going on, I have the opportunity to spend my last focus to get in the mind of Hemet.
Ah, interesting.
And I'm just too curious or too drunk. I want to enter his mind in an orgy and learn about him. And then afterwards, unfortunately, I can't go back.
Archon and Hemet, are you both like in earnest engaging in the orgy part of this, or is it all just like kind of pretext until you kill him?
So I think that
The pretense.
Hemet's very interested in what this ritual is about. It's very foreign to him, but he sees some of the things. Oh, I know what this is, and you know, the people in my village do this kind of thing. So basically, he at first stands at guard, and then he realizes, no, I'm a guest here, and then he, you know, joins in, and you hear, you know, sighs of pleasure and moans, and then all of a sudden you start hearing like, "Whoa, what?" He has kind of taboo culture, you know, that's a part of this lovemaking process that this culture wouldn't be used to.
Got it. So getting some real freaky shit going on, basically.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, freaky to this group.
Right, exactly. Right. Yeah. It's all about perspective, right?
Exactly.
Good.
Now I know why I want to enter your mind.
Yeah. So you're entering. Okay. Well, that's great. So, is this a move that you're doing here, or are we? What's happening here?
No, it's a move, yes, but it's simply this spending focus for getting telepathic touch with somebody. I could roll for go into somebody's heart, but for PCs, I would leave that without rolling. Just tell me something if you want.
Oh, for a PC, you don't have to roll for a PC. Is that what you're saying?
I would leave it open to the other player.
Oh, I see. Like, yeah. I mean, I'd like the roll just because I'd like to see what happens on a miss personally. But
all right. We still have that open, right? Yeah.
So then I would see how it goes.
Into Hemet's heart. And I, by the way, I'm surely I participate in the orgy as far as it goes.
Indeed.
I have an 11. Sorry.
Okay, very good. And roll plus wisdom. You get to choose 2 on a 10 plus. What do you want to know? I'm going to have Hemet answer, but I just want to know like what your what are your choices here first?
Yeah. So I learn about a secret, and a secret is something I could possibly know otherwise, however unlikely that might be. So I don't want him to know how deep I dig.
Right. So you can like kind of mention it casually without being too like suspicious or whatever.
Yeah, something I could learn from his habits or something. And and the greater context definitely is something I'm interested in for sure.
What does he discover, Hemet?
Hemet talks a lot about his village and that he misses it and stuff. But what he doesn't talk about is the fact that he was exiled. He was forced to leave, and it was something pretty devastating for him.
Oh yes.
I think the greater context is like maybe I mean I would like to know maybe even like what you did, like why were you exiled?
I'm not sure. I think this was a breaking of a tenet of the group. Maybe let's say someone close to me died, and it was my fault.
Okay, I mean that we can leave it. That's good enough. I just want to kind of get an idea of what that might be.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, what about the killing blow? Who's doing the deed here? I mean, you can basically let the poison run its course, but the problem is like Archon and Hemet, you may not have a good understanding of how that's going to work, right? You might think that like our chance is right now, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing this, right?
Yeah. So I think that Hemet's not that familiar with the rest of the people, so Hemet will do the killing blow if no one else wants to. I think that as time moves on, he's, this is our appropriate, this is our mission, this is what we're supposed to do, and this person has obviously been hurting others for his own benefit. So he needs to be removed probably now in order to protect the servants and all of that. Do we have an idea? So who's the second in charge of his place?
Oh, like a steward. He probably has like some kind of steward or something.
Yeah. So I think I probably talked the steward up a little bit and said, you need to take care of the people better, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like he may not be around forever, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
I will tell you. I'm in your mind. I can tell you kill him now. There's a
Yes.
poison which will kill him in a very brutally way, and he has deserved a better ending. Also, the poison, the sleepy poison, might keep us away from learning something from him.
Indeed. Do the deed. How do
Yeah,
you
so
do
I think
it?
the way that this goes down is Hemet has actually kept some clothing, like maybe a loincloth or something like that on.
Yeah.
And he has one of his 2 daggers
Mm,
that is inside that loincloth.
mm.
And I think that as he gets up close to Lord Call, Lord Call is at first excited at the, what's the right word? The large, hard object until he finds out it's not.
There's a kinkiness here. It's going on, right?
Until he
Yeah.
finds out it's not exactly what he wanted.
What he'd wanted, indeed,
Yeah.
indeed.
And
So-
is this a hack and slash kind of role?
No, you're just going to kill him. But when you deliver the killing blow to a keeper, this is our custom move here.
Yeah.
You learn some of their secrets. You can select one of the following. You can take a +1 ongoing to any move directly related to hunting the next keeper. So that's a thing.
Okay.
You can take a +1 forward to turn the key. That's a move where if you want to fuck with the mirrors, and unlock their power for your own gain, you get a +1 forward to doing that. So
Okay.
basically you get a little bit of his knowledge of the mirrors. Or you can reveal part of the keeper's secret plan. At the end of the session, the GM will ask, what did you see when you glimpsed the keeper's secret plan? You'll tell me 3 distinct images you saw in your mind's eye when you delivered the killing blow, and then mark 1 XP. We have 3 distinct images already on the table, so this would add to that. We're building like a sort of a running list of like of images that were to help us put together a puzzle, right? So which choice do you want?
I think I want the last one.
Okay, great.
Can you tell me what the images that we have already on the table?
Of course. Let me pull up my notes. I have that in.
Notes. So
I think it's in Song of Milk White. Yeah, I found it. 1 second. The 3 images that we have on the table presently. This is from when they killed Yedric, keeper of the Milk White Putrescence. They saw a brown avalanche coming down from the mountain, flooding the earth. Spirits being born in caves, breaking free. A musical dissonance adjusting to a white noise. I'll put those all in there. And your images don't have to make any sense necessarily to those. These are all going to be interpreted at a later time, right?
Okay.
I typed them there in the text as well.
I think the next. So one of the images is.
Oh, I don't want to know yet.
Okay.
That's at the end of the session.
Okay.
Cool. Let's talk about how we're going to wrap this session up. You're going to kill Lord Gaul. You've got the mirrors. Before we end this whole Lord Gaul, Keeper of the Crying Mirrors bit, I want to know, because there's going to be some time between this mission and the next one. So do you take the Crying Mirrors back to the church right away, or are you guys keeping those?
Ooh, what does Logan want to do? Hoard
Yes.
that mirror?
I still have all this crap. I'm still carrying all of this keeper crap. I should probably deposit all of it.
Yeah, well, so the one you've got the blue crystals of the Azure Flame, which is you can easily keep that on your person. That has no weight. That's no big deal. The and then you have you've taken some milk white putrescence into your body, right?
Yeah, I have that. Archon has a bottle of it too.
Right.
I think I have some too. No,
the
maybe
mirrors
not.
are 1 weight each. That's the only tricky thing about the mirrors.
Hmm.
So of course we should return the 3 mirrors back to our
Sure.
employers.
Mhm.
But the other mirror, I think you can do what you want to with it.
Yeah, I think we'll return.
The 3 keeper mirrors or the 3 crying mirrors.
I think we'll return 2 of the crying mirrors.
Like we only found 2. Good.
that's the Logan I know.
The rumors were incorrect. There was only 2 of them, not 1.
Yeah.
And then you also are you gonna keep the other mirror, the one that you haven't looked at yet?
Yeah, I think I'm like, as they're all orgying, I'm bored. I've got time to kill. I'm sitting in the cart with all these mirrors. I want to like fiddle around with it a little bit.
It's about lore on
Okay. 8.
it. Something interesting.
Wait a second. 10.
Oh, okay. Something interesting and something useful.
And if it's magical, something secret, a little known secret.
Indeed. So the interesting thing is that it is a trap, and it's basically triggered by when you converse with the image in the mirror. It's just like the other one. The useful thing is it will always do this as long as you can convince someone to look at the mirror and converse with it. It will do the trap, right? You don't really know what the trap is yet. You don't know, but basically the image casts a spell. Okay. The little known secret is, now that Lord Gaul is dead, the nature of the magic actually it's almost like a Horcrux or a phylactery. Caspian Gaul is actually like, now he is the image. Like before it was just a simulacrum, but now it's kind of it's like legit him, right? So you can actually talk to him and stuff, right? It will have a personality.
Right, but that would trigger the trap, right?
It could. You'd always be exposing yourself, yeah. So how do you know all that?
Because I think that I'm like waiting in the cart and it's taking like entirely too long. So then I like look back and see the bundle of mirrors and just decide, oh, the hell with it, and like climb back there and like just like take the tarp off, and I see him.
Oh, nice, good. It's a more like strong, broad-shouldered, tall version of him. So,
Yeah, and
so you know.
I'm just kind of like looking at it, and he's probably trying to talk to me or whatever.
Right.
And I just keep looking at it, and then I think when the killing blow is struck, something happens.
I think he actually makes reference to it, like, I can't believe you guys did that to me, or something like that, right? Yeah.
And I just like, and I just grab the canvas and just like pull it back.
Good,
I like
good,
the
good.
idea of while you're pulling the canvas over him, he's about to talk about how he saw the Shadow Court reference thing, and then the tarp goes over
Oh,
and you don't
nice.
hear
Yeah,
it
good.
too.
Yeah, I like that too. That's good. Yeah.
As soon as the canvas is over it, I'm just like, I grow
So
weary.
it's
I grow weary.
confirmed that it's confirmed that he knows what you did. Yeah, or what was up. Okay, cool. I'm into that. In your gear, you can put Lord Caspian's mirror, or Lord. Just Lord Caspian's fine. Lord Caspian's mirror. It's one weight. All right.
There's something at the end of the orgy I want to have seen with Weary. Are you up for that?
Sure.
Because like everybody's mind I have entered, I looked for secret plans.
Okay.
And well, you know me already. I like telling lies to people. I think you are experienced enough by now with me that you can tell me something wrong about you, what I believe from now on. Like directly pointing off in one of your flags, but also might add something interesting to our relationship. So while the orgy is going on, I'm looking up to you, into your eyes, in the secret spot.
That's not
And-
weird at all. That's like while I'm busy having sex with these two
and so-
guys, I'm making really strong eye contact with you.
Yes. Well, we wear masks anyway.
It
Looks even stranger.
Let's just add an extra
And-
layer here.
I look at you and my look is telling you I know something about you I shouldn't know. Which is a lie. Possibly.
Which is a lie.
Possibly or possibly not. Your choice. You're good in telling lies.
I think you find out that even the like that room that you always occupy with the spikes and the log with me standing on it and stuff is also a lie. As the camera like pans around, you can see me coming down from the spike, and it seems like I'm walking on air, but then as it pans, you just see that it's like a trick, and there's actual stairs there that just are made to look invisible. And it's also like it sort of signifies that everything in my mind is a deception, even to myself.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice. Let's go ahead and put a point on this session. So I've got one more thing I want to do. I want to tell you kind of what the basic setup is for essentially the second part of the story here, the second story for the series. You are going to be you're responding to rumors of a keeper hiding among the Grey Rangers. You are going to go to the Grey Rangers and ferret that person out. That's going to require you to travel through this large forest. It's called the First Forest because it's considered to be the oldest forest because of the size of the trees. Okay. The Grey Rangers, their whole like raison d'etre or whatever is they are there to hold back whatever lives in the Bleak Wood, and the Bleak Wood is the northwest corner of the First Forest. Okay, and so that's kind of historically what you would know, and that's what's going on there. I want to ask you guys some establishing questions that I can work with for next session, and then so I'm going to ask you those questions. We'll take a really fast break to give you guys a minute to think about it and take a bio break, and we'll come back, answer those questions, and then do end of session. Does that sound good? Awesome. So my questions are, I'm going to find it here. Question for... Okay, well, let's go with a straightforward one here. For Logan, the Grey Rangers have a single ancient task: to protect the southern lands from whatever lies in the Bleak Wood. Okay, tell me a rumor that you've heard about what is actually in the Bleak Wood, like with any degree of specificity you wish. Follow-up question: why do you want to find it? Weary, I don't know if this. Tell me if this conflicts with your notion of your character too much. If it does, we don't have to. I'll save this for someone else. But this is the initial question. Your father is a Grey Ranger. What is his name, and why didn't you take after him like your brother and sister did?
Okay, yeah, I could work with that.
Very cool. And which is also implies that your brother and sister are also Grey Rangers. So this is kind of a family affair. Good.
They ever existed.
Indeed. For Hemet, there are lots of dark rumors about the Grey Rangers that you've heard either among your people or even like in other communities. But you've heard lots of dark rumors. I mean, we're talking like cannibalism level rumors, right? Like the dark shit that the Grey Rangers get up to. I want to know what you've heard. Doesn't mean it's true. Just want to know what you've heard. And finally, for Archon, there is a secret place in the forest near the Grey Lodge. What is this place? And it should not be connected to the Bleak Wood. That's important. It's something different, another part of the forest. There's a secret place in the forest near the Grey Lodge. What is this place, and why do you want to go there? Okay. So think about those. Let's take like 5 minutes, and we'll come back. I think Lord Caspian might be one of my favorite NPCs to play right now.
It made me think of the Princess Bride with the marriage. Marriage is what brings us together.
I was modeling the character because this is what I do. I take something from pop culture, but I was modeling the character directly after the Toulouse-Lautrec character in Moulin Rouge. I don't know if you've seen Moulin Rouge, but
Yeah.
the one that John Leguizamo plays. I was directly like lifting that. Okay, so let's go to questions if you guys are ready. Let's start with what's this rumor about the Bleak Wood, about what's in there, Logan, and why do you want to find it?
The rumor is
I'm going to be making some notes while you talk. So
that there is an arcane machine in the Bleak Wood. It is it's just like colloquially called the Nightmare Machine, but the rumors vary widely on what this machine is. Some say that it's an engine that drives itself and is destructive under its own power. Some say that it is a small self-playing music box that makes your fears manifest right in front of you. I want it because I think that it would, if I can figure out how to make it safe, it would just be a mobile place of power. It would have so much magic that I could use it to just enchant wherever I bring it.
that doesn't sound dangerous at all. Awesome. Weary, tell me about your family. Like, why didn't you go into the rest of the fam decided to be Grey Rangers? How come you didn't go that route?
Yeah, I think I mentioned the last series too, that I was touching on like the fact that Weary had been like ripped from his home. And I think that his father's name is Veritas, and he was taken from the Grey Rangers. And I think how the audience like learns about it or whatever is there's not, I don't think it's specifically Weary, but I think another person from the Shadow Court shows up later on in like the exposition scenes and is in Caspian's home looking at these paintings, and he's lighting them on fire one by one. And one of them he comes to and looks, and I think in every painting there's a person with one of those Shadow Court masks somewhere in the picture, like hidden Dan Brown style. Yeah, Dan Brown style, right? We're like, this has been here all along. Oh my god, that kind of thing. But in one of them there is like a depiction of whatever the popular deity is for the Templars and all that, looking down, and we see the Grey Rangers and the Shadow Court people with masks ripping like children from their like bosoms, kind of thing.
Oh, so they like actually it was a program of kidnapping children, taking children from,
and like the painting is sort of like what happens when good men do nothing and God watches and all that kind of stuff.
Got it. And so I guess the follow-up question I have then, just so I make sure I can work with this correctly. Were you old enough to like know, like, will you remember your father and your brother and sister?
I kind of like it as sort of like an elven thing where like they're in your mind all the time. Like maybe they're always trying to find me, but the Shadow Court has sort of reprogrammed me so that they can never get in, because it's that like deception stuff in my mind at play all of the time. So maybe they're constantly
they might have a sense of you, right?
Yeah, like maybe they're constantly probing for me out there and never giving up, but the Shadow Court has sort of programmed me through their methodologies and their religion to make it so they can never find me, kind of thing.
Awesome. Let me make just a couple of notes there.
Can you share these notes between the sessions?
Well, they're my secret notes too. They're always on the Patreon feed, so I can't stop you guys from going to look at them. But
no, I don't want to see this.
Yeah, but if you want to see what I'm thinking, which actually at present there's nothing developed, so there's really nothing to even learn.
That's what I mean. Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, as long as you look before like Friday or Saturday. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Let me just finish my notes real quick. That's perfect. Thank you. Let's talk about these dark rumors, Hemet. What have you heard that the Grey Rangers get up to?
So the Grey Rangers actually, I've heard that they gain their power by ritually feeding off the blood of live prisoners that are kept asleep by magic. They're almost vampires. They eat their spirit through their blood.
That's pretty dark. So that implies that the Grey Rangers are more than just like a sort of maybe one day they were like, maybe at one point they were an order of people bound together by a certain cause, but now they've become very corrupted and they're almost like a sort of quasi species, even, right? Like of a sort. Okay, I'm into that. Well, so finally, last question: what is this secret place in the forest that's near the Grey Lodge, Archon? Why do you want to go there?
Well, there are always secret places around places we go, where I need to go. Let's hope I'm actually around next week.
Yeah.
Not like last session, which I missed. So there are elves once upon a time had built a fountain there to worship the myrtle green creature of fertility. I've written that down so I can post it a long time ago. So, but the Brogard dwarfs, my people, killed them all.
Oh.
I don't know for what reason. And now this place is hunted by ghosts.
Mm.
And I want to go to find out why they got killed by my people.
Haunt the area around the fountain.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, awesome. And let's just do our end of session questions real quick. I just want to get all that on the table so we could play with it for next week. All right. I feel like everybody hit flags. It seemed like everybody was hitting them. Does anybody think they didn't hit one? Or because I think we're good on flags. I remember thinking you were all hitting them. So everybody can mark an XP for that. As far as the next thing goes, let's look at your alignment. All right. Hemet, your alignment is defend those weaker than you. I'm going to say yes, because you actually were actively helping out the servants, right? And particularly Elsa. So you can mark an XP. Let's go to Archon. Upset a relationship to see what happens. Do you want to make a case there for that, Archon?
As so often, it's Logan, but also Weary.
Mm-hmm.
Well, every time I enter somebody's mind that deeply, it's like, or asking somebody to have sex with me. Might also count.
Did you upset a relationship to see what happens? I think is it upsetting your relationship between you and that person? I guess, like between you and Logan. That kind of makes sense. Yeah, to see if he would bite. Yeah, I'm into that. Because now Logan is probably thinking like, oh, like Whoa. I just got weirdly propositioned, right, by Archon for whatever. So okay, when that wasn't even necessary to complete the mission, right? That wasn't even like a necessary component of the mission to have Logan there. I'm into that. I think in terms of intent, I'm there. So go ahead and mark an XP. Logan. Yes, you definitely discovered a magical mystery. Mark an XP. Weary, yours is not written down. Read
it's the chaotic one leap into danger.
Without a plan. I would say going straight for... I think you kind of defied the plan a little bit when you kind of tried to poison what's his face. So I'll take it.
Yeah, because I got emotional. I think just for people to know too, I think that alignment isn't that interesting to me. Like I thought it would be a lot more interesting, but I think later on I'm going to move towards evil depending on what happens.
Okay, good. Awesome. Well, you can mark an XP for it for now. I think I'm into the spirit of that sequence, at least, applying. Let's go to the questions? Did we learn something new and important about the world? Sure. Yeah, I think we're definitely about to learn something, a vision, and then also I think just kind of generally like how figuring out what's going on with Lord Caspian and all that stuff and the mirrors and everything. Do we overcome a notable monster or enemy? I'm going to say yes for Lord Caspian, just the whole sequence. Did we loot a memorable treasure? Yes, the mirrors. So you guys can all mark an 3 more XP for those, and then I'm going to ask finally of Hemet. Give me your 3 distinct visions, Hemet. Distinct, and you don't have to explain what they are. I just want the visual of what we see.
The first is actually darkness, and it's the smell of smoke in the darkness of the night. You see a few embers that flutter, and just this overwhelming smell of like a campfire.
I love it. Second image.
The second is a soft breeze that flows through the grass of the plains. Basically, there's a big field of grass, and it's actually not quite wheat, but it's this tall grass, and you see the breeze kind of cause it to flutter a little bit.
Perfect. Third image.
It's the distorted spots that you get in your vision whenever you look at a bright light, as if you had looked at the sun. So you don't actually see the bright image; you just see those weird colored warp images.
Perfect. Go ahead and mark an XP. And well, that was a lovely session. Gosh, I don't think that could have gone any better. It was a twist on my normal, like, let's see the party in action together session. I was into it. We're at time, so I'm not going to belay this anymore. But like, does anybody have any little last bits of feedback or anything I need to know for next week?
I spent the last of my coin on a cart and donkey.
Okay, great, awesome.
The donkey's name is Jack.
I love it, Jack the donkey. Awesome.
Yeah, Jack the ass, if you want to be clever.
I also named my daggers. They're Ira and Nvidia.
Ooh, that's good.
And due to the question that Archon asked, Hemet was exiled from his village whenever his sister was killed, and it was his fault. She was possessed by an evil spirit, Ira, that now resides in one of the daggers.
Ooh,
Hemet put her out of her misery before the village was destroyed by the deception.
Awesome, cool. I'm into it. Great. Well, that was super fun. Anything else? We all good?
I just wanted to thank everyone for letting me embellish so much of my scenes this time.
I thought it was fine. I didn't. I love that personally. So cool. Awesome. All right. Well, that was super fun. You guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you next week.